Good to see you. So today we're going to continue our August theme. It's our last week in August, and we're going to be working with our theme of neuroplasticity, and we're going to add in an infinity loop as we go through our practice today and kind of use that as a theme for integration. So in neuroplasticity, we're thinking about our neurons firing and growing and building new brain cells and new neural pathways and new neural connections. And with that, one thing that is really important is to take time to integrate. So that is kind of our theme for today. As always, my name is Kelsey. I'm a therapist in Washington State, and this is Mental Health on the Mat, a yoga class that integrates mental health tools or mind tools with yoga practice and movement. We'll do the same as always. We'll do a little 15-minute meditation, a little bit of psychoeducation, and then some chair yoga, and then a longer flow on our mat. It's a drop-in class, so you can come in as you come in off of your lunch break, and you can leave as you need throughout your lunch break as well. We're going to just begin with a little bit of movement, finding a place of security and comfort in our bodies as we open ourselves up to the process of integration and the process of connecting more with what we've learned throughout the month and letting it really land in our body and our nervous system and our minds. So go ahead and just begin by tuning to your breath. See if you can feel into the way that your body wants to breathe and the way that your body wants to move right now. Whether it wants to be still or if you want to add a little bit of rocking. Maybe you want to do this meditation standing. But see if you can think with your cells of your body rather than with your mind for today. To listen to your body and the way that it wants to show up, knowing that this is your practice and you get to follow along with the movements or completely ignore it and just listen and do kind of your own stretching and your own movement. So in this seated position, let's start by shrugging our shoulders up to our ears, breathing in and kind of holding this tension. And exhaling, dropping your shoulders, letting everything drop down. Inhaling again, shrugging that tension in your shoulders, expanding your chest, holding your breath at the top. And exhale, letting everything go to be a little more present in this moment. We'll do that one more time. Go ahead and inhale, tightening those shoulders, expanding that rib cage, filling up with as much air and breath as you can, and then letting it all go. So for our meditation today, focusing on integration and neuroplasticity, I'm going to teach you all a mudra. So you can bring your hands up, and we're just going to do a little bit of hand warm up. Maybe rub your hands together to bring some warmth into your hands. You can do some hand stretches to bring some blood flow into your hands. And this mudra is called the Ananta mudra. It's the infinite mudra. So what you're going to do is place the bottoms of your wrists together, kind of the bottoms of your palms. So not prayer hands, just the bottom part here. And then spread your fingers wide as if you're holding a giant bowl, or you can imagine that you're holding kind of the infinite universe as well. This is the Ananta mudra, which is going to help us tap into this feeling of infinite as we go through our meditation today. And so for our meditation, we're going to do an infinity meditation, creating an infinite loop, opening our chakras and our channels. For now, just feel into the way that the wrists feel touching each other, the way that your fingers feel as they spread apart. Tune into your breath, allowing yourself to drop into this moment and be fully present here. With your awareness on the place where your wrists are touching, see if you can begin to notice the give and take, the flow of energy between your wrists. Imagine feeling the warmth of your left wrist with your right wrist. Imagine giving that warmth from the left wrist to the right wrist. And sending that awareness of giving and receiving in the opposite direction. And you can let that awareness of the giving and receiving, the contact points of your wrists, kind of gently float to the background of your awareness. And we're going to bring our awareness back to our breath. And let our lungs fill up and release air however they want to today, whatever speed or pace you want to breathe with. And seeing also if you can tap into your heartbeat as you're aware of your breath and you're aware of your heartbeat and you're aware of the connection between the two. And wherever you're at on your next inhale, bring your awareness to the place where your sit bones are meeting the floor or your chair beneath you, or maybe your legs underneath you if you're standing right now. Tune into your root chakra. Just breathe into this contact space and feel whatever feelings are here. Listen to whatever thoughts are here. And tap into, again, that awareness of both giving and receiving. What are the ways you can meet the needs? Our root chakra is about security and comfort and safety and home. What needs can you meet here while you give it your awareness? And what can you learn by listening and feeling into this space? Moving this awareness up to the space just on the inside of your belly button, to your sacral chakra, the place of creativity. And again, tap into that flow of giving and receiving. If you want, you can tie it to your breath. You can listen to the thoughts or focus on the feelings, whatever helps you feel more connected with yourself right now. See what creativity needs you can meet for yourself right now. And when you feel complete, you can bring your awareness up again, this time to your solar plexus. This is your diaphragm, the space at the top of your abdomen, just at the bottom of your ribs, your power center. And again, just listening, just feeling, just allowing, just giving, just receiving. How can you meet your needs for self-power in this moment? And when you feel complete, you can bring your awareness up again, expanding into your heart space, the chakra of connection, where your breath lives. What connection needs can you meet for yourself right now in this space? And again, when you feel complete, if you want, you can rise up to your throat chakra if it feels better to stay with your heart, you can stay there. Just listen for what you want. In your throat chakra, the chakra of communication, of expression, breathe into the awareness of the thoughts that arise here, the feelings that arise here, the sensations that arise here. Tune to the flow of giving and receiving. And when you're ready again, you can bring your awareness up to the third eye chakra, the space right in between your eyebrows in the middle of your forehead. And just begin to listen. What here wants to be noticed, to be heard, to be felt. What wants to be given and what wants to be received from this chakra of intuition, your inner sense of knowing. And for our last chakra, bring your awareness up to the top of your head, the crown of your head, your crown chakra, the connection between you and the infinite universe. Just being present with what is. Maybe your body is talking loudly, or your mind is, or your heart is, or your spirit is. In whatever way you need to, meeting the needs of your crown chakra, your connection with the universe, and allowing the gifts to come through. Meeting together on our next exhale, we're going to let all the air out. And on our inhale, raise up your hands, release the mudra. Let your hands reach up above your head and then out to the side and down to your lap. As you exhale, inhaling, bringing that mudra back, wrists together in front of you, stretching up, out, reaching over, and reaching to the side. As you exhale, we're going to create an infinite loop here as we bring our awareness up the center of our body through each of these chakras, up, out, and around, surrounding us with our awareness, up through the center line, creating this loop of connection between our body, ourselves, our thoughts, our minds, anything that is going on inside of us, and sharing it out with the universe. And as we breathe in, bringing a little bit of the wisdoms and the gifts from the universe up in through our core meridian. We'll breathe here 2 more times. And meeting together somewhere on your last breath, whether you were seated for that or standing for that, we're going to bring in a little bit more movement. So again, today we're working on neuroplasticity and in particular integration. Integration is so, so, so important in the process of learning and helping our mind to grow and build those new neural connections. Today, I'm describing integration as nervous system downregulation, some type of relaxation, some type of tuning to your body, to your nervous system in a way that is comforting and offers you a little bit less of that active and engaged intake of information processing and more of the receptive, just kind of allowing what you have learned to kind of go through you and see what wants to stick and what wants to land in your nervous system and in your space. So today we're going to be working with Deborah Sunbeck. She is a psychologist who in the early 2000s and 90s sort of coined the infinity walk and noticed that people who would walk in infinity shapes tend to retain information more. And it was better for this idea of growing your neuronal network and allowing your brain to learn new things and to integrate and to let your kind of bilateral parts of your body, your left brain and right brain, come together and integrate everything. So just like we would normally start with neck rolls or head rolls, we're going to do that today, but we're going to do it with infinity loops. So we're going to first just tuck our chin to our chest, roll our left ear to our left shoulder. And instead of rolling back, we're going to lift our head up to a neutral position in the center and then drop our right ear to our right shoulder and then roll back, chin to the sky. From here, tuck your chin and be very gentle and very slow because this is a new type of movement that we don't normally do with our necks. We want to be really gentle, really slow so we don't tweak anything. This time, when your chin reaches your chest, you're going to roll your right ear to your right shoulder. Pick your head up through neutral. Let your left ear drop to your left shoulder. And then roll your chin to the sky, making these little infinity loops with your neck in the opposite direction. When you find your neck in center again, in a neutral position again, you can let it be there. And we're going to bring our hands into play. So start making some infinity symbols with your wrists. You can try opposite directions. It's always hard for me to go the opposite direction. You can add in some infinity movement with your arms by stretching your arms out wide to each side, bending in the elbows, and using your hands to draw some infinity loops in the sky around you. Straightening your arms out wide, you can begin to make some infinity loops with your whole arm to get some stretching in your shoulder. And again, because today is integration, you're just practicing listening to your body. So if your arms want to be moving in a different way right now, feel into them, ask them what they want, ask them how they want to be moving. If they're enjoying the infinity loops, maybe switch directions. And always my favorite, you can bring your arms out to the side, tuck your hands to your shoulders, and make weird little chicken shapes with your infinity loop elbows. Remembering to switch directions, but just opening up the body, opening up your arms right now. Go ahead and let your arms drop and shake them out. I'm going to move to the chair so I can do the next part of our flow for today. You can do this flow on the floor or on a chair, whatever works better for you. If you're at your desk at work today, make sure you scoot back so you have a bit of room so that you're not running and bumping into your desk. Go ahead and inhale both of your arms up high. Exhale, you're going to use your left hand to grab your right wrist and gently pull over to the left side. Just notice where your head wants to be. Maybe you want to look up. Maybe you want to look down. On your next inhale, reach those arms way up high. Exhale, cactus your arms out to the side, bending your wrists, elbows, and shoulders at a 90-degree angle. Inhale to lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale to bring your chin to the sky in a little back bend. You can inhale your arms up wide. Exhale, reach your arms out to the side, kind of at a 45-degree angle, creating a seated star position. You can choose to lift your legs and reach in all four directions or leave your feet planted on the ground. And exhaling, drop those arms down. Now, there's a few different ways to do this stretch. You can either keep your right leg bent, tuck it under your chair, and lean over towards your left straightened leg. Or if it's available to you, you can bring your right ankle over your left knee. And again, reach down towards your straightened left leg. Inhaling to come all the way up. We're going to switch those directions. So you can bring your left ankle over your right knee or tuck it in under your chair, straighten your right leg, and slowly fold forward, creating a little bit of a stretch on that right side. Coming back up to a seated position. Go ahead and bring your left knee out to the side. If you're seated on the floor, you can have your left leg out straight. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, reach them wide in both directions. Look over towards your left hand as you slowly lower your left hand towards your left foot behind your leg. And then shift your gaze over your right hand as it reaches up towards the ceiling. Breathe here, creating that length between your left hand and right hand. And when your body tells you it's time, go ahead and come back to neutral. This time we're going to open our right knee to the side. Inhale, both of our arms up. Exhale to reach wide in both directions, first looking over at your right hand. Then as you drop your right hand down towards your right foot, your gaze will shift up towards your left hand, creating a little bit of opening in the left side of the body as you stretch between your left and right hand. When your body tells you it's time to release the pose, you can come back to neutral in your seat. And we're just going to cross our arms in front of us. Doesn't matter which arm is on top, but give yourself a little bit of a hug. If that's too much of a stretch, you can just cross your arms in front of you and put one hand on each side of your chest. Giving yourself a little bit of a hug. Studies have shown that even self-hugs have the benefit of giving us sort of the same brain state as if we are hugging another person or someone who we really care about. With your arms still crossed, you can inhale, lift your chin, creating a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, begin to roll down, curling up into a little ball on your chair or on the floor. Following your breath, opening and expanding on the inhale. Exhaling, rounding down in. And coming back to a neutral position, I'm going to transition to our standing flow for today. So if you were seated, you might want to put your chair to the side, or you can go ahead and find your way to the mat. And first thing you're going to do is just find wherever on your mat you actually want to stand today. And it doesn't matter if you want to stand at the top of your mat or the middle of your mat. You can pick a new place or your same usual place. But wherever it is, I'm going to invite you to begin to walk the edges of your mat until you come to the very center, and then you cross over to the other side. So we're walking in that infinity loop pattern. You can walk heel toe, you can walk as fast as you want to go or as slow as you want to go. You can take big steps or little steps. But just begin with this infinity pattern. If you want to add in a little bit more of the bilateral stimulation, when you lift your left leg, you can tap your left knee with your right hand and then set it back down, lifting your right knee, tapping it with your left hand, and setting it back down. If you're in the mood for a workout today, you can do elbow to knee, get a little bit of a crunch going. But whatever your body wants to do, and maybe you don't want to walk in an infinity shape. Maybe you want to lay down for a little bit or jump around. Whatever you think you need. Find your way to the middle of your mat. We're going to come down onto our hands and knees. And a variation of cat and cow pose that we're going to try for today, you're always welcome to do the old version, is sticking your left leg out to the side. With your left leg out straight, you can inhale, drop your belly to the floor, chin to the sky, and exhale, round your spine out. Tapping into your breath, letting your body guide you rather than your mind. Keeping your left leg straight, swing it long behind you as you turn your right foot off the edge of your mat so that it's kind of 90 degrees. Lifting your left hand up to the sky as you open through your side body. Your right hand and right knee stay on the ground. We're going to inhale and bring our left hand long, creating a long line between our left foot and left hand. And on an exhale, we're going to pick our right hand up, bring our left hand to our knee or our left foot, swing our right hand up over the top. The pose we're in is gate pose, and we're going to create a swinging gate pose by flowing between these two positions. I often cue to inhale and exhale and move in a certain way. But for this pose, maybe figure out which movement you want to inhale with and which movement you want to exhale with. And when you're ready, plant both your hands back down on the mat and come into our traditional tabletop pose, knees below hips, wrists below shoulders. This time we're going to bring our right leg out long to the side and flow again through our cat and cow. Tucking our chin, rounding our spine up towards the ceiling. Then dropping our belly down and lifting our chin towards the sky. Go ahead and bring your right leg long behind you. Twist that left foot 90 degrees to the side as you open up through the right side of your body. Right hand towards the sky. Left hand and left knee still on the mat. And inhaling to reach long, creating that line between your right hand and your right foot. And then shifting position so that you're reaching with your right hand towards your right foot. Left hand is high above you. Gaze through your arched arm. Beautiful. And this time, as you connect to your breath and figure out where you want to be inhaling and where you want to be exhaling as you flow through this, maybe bring to mind an image of a gate opening and closing, maybe by the wind or by a person or an animal walking through. Using metaphors and stories is another way to help us integrate something that we're experiencing. When you feel complete, come back to tabletop position. We're going to move through a little flow, starting in child's pose. So go ahead and sink your hips back onto your heels. Reach your hands out long in front of you. And you can rest your forehead on the mat. Maybe give your forehead a little massage as you roll it from side to side. But take this moment to check in. Notice what you're feeling right now. Notice what you're thinking. Notice anything that's physically happening in your body that wants your attention. And if your body wants to do something different, allow it to do that. You're also invited to flow a little bit in this pose. You're going to press up with your hips to come into a kneeling plank pose, creating a long line between your knees and the crown of your head. Exhale to slowly lower yourself down onto the mat. Inhale to squeeze your back and legs as you lift your chest and chin toward the sky. Exhale to tuck your toes. Press up, moving through tabletop, but lifting those knees to bring those hips to the sky in downward dog. Flowing through this 2 more times. Sinking back down on your hips, resetting in child's pose, checking in with yourself again. Are you moving in the way your body wants to be moving? Are you moving in the way your mind wants to be moving? Or maybe in the way your emotions want you to be moving? Pressing up through to plank, lowering down to the mat, lifting your chest for cobra, tucking those toes and pressing up through to downward dog. Sinking back down into child's pose, checking in again, and at your own pace, with any variations your body wants. Move through and be with your experience. Everyone meeting in downward dog and slowly walking your feet to the center of the mat, lifting your hands, rolling your spine up. We're going to move through the moon salutation today. Starting first in the middle of our mat. So our feet are going to be hip distance width apart, palms facing forward. You might shrug your shoulders up to your chin, roll them down and back, and then release any tension in the middle of your back so that you're not holding your heart open, but it's just naturally as open as it wants to be. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, this time grab your right wrist, pull it over to the left side, creating a stretch through the right side of your body. Inhale to lengthen both arms up. Heel toe your feet a little bit wider, maybe 3 or so feet apart. Bend in the knees, drop your hips down, bend in the elbows and wrists, coming into goddess pose. Feel the strength here. And then press up. Use that strength to expand into star pose, straightening your legs, straightening your arms. With your legs still wide, drop your arms so that they're parallel with the floor. Hinge at the hips. You're going to keep your arms straight. Keep a long line between your hands. As you reach with your right hand down towards your right foot, left hand towards the sky, gaze can follow up. Exhale. Release your left hand down towards your right. Shift your feet so your toes are pointing towards the short side of your mat. And let yourself fall forward over your right leg. Bend both of your knees to lower your body a little bit. Plant your hands down on the mat to get your back leg in position so that you can rise up into a lunge, lifting your arms up overhead. Exhaling, cactus your arms out to the side, lift your chin to the sky to create a little back bend. Then release your arms to your front knee as you lean forward. You can also plant your hands down on the mat, creating a stretch in your hips. If you're really feeling stretchy today, you can drop down onto your forearms. Remembering that all bodies look different and all bodies want to do each pose differently. Turn so that your hips are open to the long side of your mat. Your right knee might come forward towards the long side of your mat. Left leg is going to stay long. You can bring your hands to heart center, or you can use your hands on the mat to help you balance. We're going to shift all of our weight. This is, I think, the hardest part of today's practice. Passing through a yoga squat, shifting to the opposite leg. So you can use your hands to help support you as you walk your way over to the left side. Now your right leg will be long, left knee towards the long side of your mat. You can bring your hands back up to heart center. As you twist so that your left knee is towards the short side of your mat, you're going to drop your back knee, coming again into that deep stretch, hands on the mat, forearms on the mat, however deep you want this stretch to be. Know that you're doing great as long as you're listening to your body. Go ahead and press up. Equally distribute that weight between both of your legs so that you can rise up into our lunge. Inhaling your arms high, exhaling your arms down to the side. Cactusing them out to create that mini back bend. And when you're ready, drop your arms, tuck your back toe so that you can straighten both of your legs as you come into our folded forward pyramid pose. Opening up through the front of your body, bringing your right hand up towards the ceiling. Left hand is going to lift up just gently, or you can use it to wrap around your ankle to help support you. Your right toes are going to fold towards the long side of your mat as you open your hips. And using some strength, lift your body up. Reach out in all directions for our star pose. Exhale, bend those knees, bend those elbows, wrists, dropping down into goddess pose. Feeling the strength you have here. And when you reach kind of the edge of your limit, take a breath and then go ahead and walk your toes back to mountain pose. You don't always have to push yourself to go a little bit harder, a little bit longer. Go ahead and inhale your arms up. This time, grab your right wrist, hold to the left side. Inhale your arms up. And you can go ahead and let them out, let them down. We're going to move to, actually, we're going to do that flow one more time, a little bit more quickly, so that you can practice and get kind of a feel for the cyclical nature of this flow. Starting in the center of your mat. Again, listen to your body. So if you don't want to do this faster, you can do it really slow. Or if you don't want to do it at all, you can drop down into child's pose and do any of the flows we did earlier today. Inhale, both of your arms up. Exhaling, grabbing your left wrist, pulling it to the right side. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, walking your feet out wide, bending in the knees, elbows, and wrists. Inhale, reaching out in star pose. Exhale, hinging at the hips, dropping your right hand down, left hand long towards the sky. Taking a breath here before turning your feet towards the short side of your mat as you bring your left hand down to the mat. Bending both your legs so that both hands come down to the mat. Stabilizing yourself before reaching up in our low lunge. Cactusing those arms out to create some opening through the chest. Planting both your hands down on your knees or on the mat to deepen that hip stretch. Turning your toes and knees towards the long side of your mat. Left leg stays long, right leg stays bent. Maybe seeing this time if you can shift your weight without touching the mat, or you can use your hands to walk across. Switching to the opposite side. Again, toes are pointed towards the short side of your mat. Hands or forearms on the mat, deep hip stretch. Pressing up into that lunge, stabilizing yourself before you reach up. And cactus your arms out. Tucking your back toe, folding forward to straighten your legs. Hands can stay on your knee or on the mat as you do a forward fold in pyramid pose. Twisting both your toes to the long side of your mat as you open up through the front of your body, bringing that right hand to the sky. Hinging at the hips to come up straight into star pose. Exhaling down into goddess. Walking those toes together, inhaling both arms up. This time, grabbing your left wrist and opening through the left side of your body. Inhaling straight up. And you can go ahead and allow your body to do whatever it wants to do that's a little bit of unstructured movement here. So you can shake out some things. You might come to child's pose and lay quietly. You might stretch. Whenever you have found that place where you're still listening to your body and still listening to your heartbeat, and they're both working together with your mind, you can come down to a seated position on your mat. And we're actually going to go straight to laying down. We're going to do a bit longer of a shavasana today. But before we do that, go ahead and bring your knees to your chest. And we're going to continue with these infinity loop movements, starting by using your hands to guide your knees in little infinity movements as you massage your back on the mat beneath you. And you can go ahead and raise your legs long, just noticing what it is like to have your feet be against gravity or in the opposite direction of gravity. And we're going to expand these little infinities by just bending in your knees and drawing with both feet together little infinity symbols, as if you're imagining your feet are a little airplane riding little cloud infinities in the sky. If you want to get a little bit of an ab workout, you can straighten both of your legs and use your core to move your legs around in an infinity shape. And you can keep doing that, or you can drop your feet down to the mat and bring your left ankle over your right knee. And see if you can make an infinity shape with your left foot. I'll tell you, if there was actually a pencil tied to my feet and I was writing on paper, it would be a scribble more than anything else. Go ahead and put your left foot down, bring your right ankle over your left knee, and continue the same practice. And go ahead and release your feet long down on the mat, because today is a day we're going to do a little bit of an extra long shavasana because we're deepening into this idea of integration and rest. You can go ahead and grab any supports that you need and pick your shavasana pose today. So oftentimes it's cued to lay flat on your back with your hands long by your side on the mat, palms up. If you're going to do this, maybe shift around. You can lift your head up and kind of let your head roll down. You can pick your knees up, pick up your lower back, and then let your legs long. You can put, if you're having any low back pain, a little pillow underneath the upper part of your hips. So kind of where the bottoms of your hands would meet. That'll help alleviate some of the pressure. You can put a pillow under your knees. Another way to do Shavasana is to be in fetal position. So you can lay on your side with your knees bent, letting one hand be a little pillow for you. Whichever feels most comfortable and most supportive for rest right now. And as you lay here in your Shavasana pose, you can tap back into the chakras that we mentioned at the beginning of class. Your root, which is security. Your sacral chakra, which is creativity. Your solar plexus, which is personal power. Your heart, which is connection. Your throat, which is your voice and communication. Your third eye, which is your intuition and spirit. And your crown, which is your connection to the universe. And if desired, you can return to that meditation of allowing the universe to come in through your nervous system and allowing your experience of the world to pass through and go out into the universe as well. Or since we're in a practice of just listening to ourselves, you can let your mind wander. My voice will guide you out of Shavasana when it is time to come out, to allow you to fully relax a little bit longer. But for now, just be present with the experience that you're having. When you're ready to transition out of Shavasana, you can do so by bringing some light into your eyes, bringing some blood flow to your extremities by wiggling your fingers and your toes, My mom used to always tell me when I was tired, when I was little, to rub my earlobes. And as an adult, I learned that rubbing your ears is actually really, really good for regulating your nervous system. Just kind of one of those ways that moms have infinite wisdom, even when they don't know it. So you can do that to wake up a little bit. And thank you all again for coming today. That kind of concludes our Neuroplasticity month. And so for the month of September, we're going to be working on balance and finding balance through the postures and poses that we're doing, and finding balance in different areas of our life through interoception and exteroception, through global big things happening and local things that are happening. So finding where our edge of balance and how much we want to be connected to singular versus universal experiences. So I look forward to seeing you all then, and have a beautiful rest of your day. The last little bit I will say about integration for today is that in an optimal sort of like learning cycle, if you spend 90 minutes learning, then it's important to have at least 30 minutes of integration right afterwards. So if you are studying for a test, which maybe we're not doing if we're working, or if you're like prepping for a big business meeting, spending 90 minutes prepping for that big business meeting, and then actually taking a 30-minute lunch break where you're not thinking about it. You're just digesting your food, being present with your food, and allowing all of the new insights and learnings and work and hard things that you were doing to like land and stick and really integrate. Yeah, thank you again so much, and I will see you all next week. Bye.